Hi, hello again, back outside, tell all your friends. Something just fell out the pen. They like, hey, where the hell have you been? Well, that's a lot of info, got on my deal, had to get distro, took a little minnow, everybody Kimbo. One day slides, that's just bizdo, no I'm not single. Me and wifey about to hit 10-0, so these all want jump in the benzo. Wasn't there when I rode on Centro, I used to smoke up on the endo. GameCube, Nintendo, 5% 10, so y'all can't see up in my I've been on my Zeno, got my peace, my demons depressed, they gon' need benzos. RIP to all my peeps, I lost our phantom. Yeah, I know me, about still the same Andy, but I been low key. Hated on by most these fellas with no streams, no deals, and no dreams, no wheels, no keys, no boats, no snowmobiles, and no skis. Mad at me, cause in one trip I could bring inside all the groceries like only rapper you know live below they mean. Smiling cause I know my soul is clean. I've been this way since T.I. the shoulder lean. You know I ain't dumb, you know I ain't cheap. I'm all or nothing, there's no in between. W2s, I'm growing my team like minor league up in this world. Watch me banking, watch it grow. Trying to pay off student loans, she had to drop it low. Now that's the truth, I just told you, that's the truth. I just told you, that's the truth. I just told you, that's the, yeah.
Rockin' those times, showing pops of rhyme. Rockin' those times, showing pops of rhyme. Rockin' those times, showing pops of rhyme. I'ma come through and show my wit line. Rockin' those times, showing pops of rhyme. Rockin' those times, showing.
Ay, look at that boy, cooking up joints like run up to school, like you already know, never got help, so did it myself, doing so well, I bet you can't tell that I've been running, like this my dance, yeah, running man, like this my chance, I'm out here, who here left, yeah, who gon' last, ain't much left. I don't need you, no. Reject me, I reject harder. I don't need you, no. Act unbothered, give me that Oscar. If I can't get love, I'ma go get paper. So do me a favor, don't do me no favors. Ay, I don't need you, no. 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 I don't need you, no, no. I don't need you, oh no. I don't need you, no, no. I don't need you, no, no. I'm fine on my own, ay. Right here on my own, ay. I don't need you, no. I don't, look at that boy, ay. Cooking up joints, like, run up to school, like, you already know, never got help, so did it myself, doing so well, bet you can't tell that I've been running, like, this my dance, running man, like, this my chance, yeah, build these walls, can't feel pain, don't feel love, neither, no, it's all the same, I don't need you, no, can't get let down with no hopes up, I don't need you, no, get back, don't do close up, if I can't get love, I'ma go get paper, so do me a favor, don't do me no favors, ay, I don't need you, no, 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 I'm fine on my own, right here on my own, yeah, I don't need you, no, no, I don't need you, 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 I don't need you. Why you never say goodbye? I don't need you. Why you try to steal my girl? I don't need you. Why you hit me so hard? I don't need you. Why you never want me round? I don't need you. I hate asking for help. My pride too real. I would probably die starving before I ask for a meal. These walls I build, each brick a disappointment.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another segment of Hacks Murder Live. My name is Tyler. Super excited to have you taking the time to hang out with me tonight. Let me make sure everything is good on the streaming side. A little bit of a later stream. I think I just saw Tiberius in chat was hanging out with him for a little bit. So on here a little bit later. Did the stream freeze for anyone? Oh no, is this stream frozen? Oh shoot, I hope not. Let me know, guys, if the stream is frozen for you. All right, it's just Tiberius or he's trying to troll me. One of the two, but okay. Oh, you refresh. All right, cool. All right, all this good, but a little bit later stream tonight, and that means it's going to be a shorter stream tonight. We'll probably only hang around for a little bit, but I'm doing a challenge. It is called the 2025 Streaming Challenge, but I just made that up now, and I think I'm the only person doing it. But just out of my own curiosity, I want to see how many days in a row I can stream. I streamed yesterday, kicked off the new year with a stream, and I thought, let's just go from here and see how many more days that we are able to do before I give up on streaming every single day. So some of these streams will be shorter, like tonight will probably be quite a bit shorter of a stream. Other nights, likely tomorrow, will be a longer stream, and we'll just see how many days I can go. We'll make some standalone videos as we hang out, do Q&A, solve some machines, do some labs, all of that good stuff. Let me scroll up, say hello. We got Lucky in chat. We got Grimaxual. We got Net. We got Bottleneck. We got Mr. Saper. We got Monte Sunday. We got Zero Cool. We got Helman Kook, if I'm saying that correctly. Let me scroll. We got Kirk, who stopped in for a little bit. We got Lost E. We got Lazy One. We got my friend Chris. I don't know how to say your last name, Chris. I'm not going to try. We got Mr. Techno Boy. We got a Cash Raymond. We got the one and only Tiberius. We got 0xD1C. We got Pablo. Let's see. Am I missing anyone? We got Big Beef. We have Mr. Anonymous. Don't know who that is because they're anonymous. We got Matt. Yadish. I don't know how to say the rest of your name. Hoi Manoy. Pseudonet. Alex. Man, a lot of people jumping in chat already. There's usually not this much chatter. Abigail. Thank you for jumping in chat. Kelvin. 8-Bit Oni. Good to have all of you here. Hey, y'all, if you are just lurking in the stream, say hello in the chat. We got Nishinga. We got Tasif. Good to have all of you here. Do want to let you guys know I am live right now on 3 different platforms. You can join on whatever platform works best for you. But I am live right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. Over on YouTube and LinkedIn, you can find me just under my name, Tyler Ramsby. And over on Twitch, I stream under the name hack_smarter. So LinkedIn and YouTube, Tyler Ramsby. Twitch is hack_smarter. My main platform is YouTube. That's where you can find all my standalone videos, and you should sub to me on YouTube if you haven't already, but I do stream on all 3 of those platforms, and honestly, I think Twitch has the best quality for live stream, so if you want the highest quality live stream, Twitch is the place to be, but YouTube is my primary platform, but good to have all of you hanging out here, but here's what we are going to do. I have some things I jotted down in Notion that I want to knock out in today's stream. And one thing, I saw Beef, I wanted to showcase his guide to getting started with web app pen testing. And I'll get that pulled up. I'll give you a little additional context once I get it pulled up real quick. What up, Ping? What up, Nick Barker? What up, Marlo? Let me pull up his guide real quick. All right. Wanted to show this to all of you on stream because it's really well done. Let me drop a link to this real quick. So Big Beef, who is over in chat, I saw him say hello. He made a guide for web app, beginner resources, how to get started with web app pen testing and kind of pen testing in general. And I wanted to take the time to go through his guide on stream and just give you my thoughts, give some suggestions, because I know this is a common question that I am often asked. So I just dropped a link in the chat. Y'all can pull that up. I'm going to turn off the chat on the screen, not because I don't like you guys, but just when I make the standalone videos, you never know what people are going to say. And I suck at video editing, and I don't want to have to edit out your comments. Let me get a drink. All right, I need to think of an introduction. All right, we'll wing it. Think I have an introduction. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to start recording. So you want to be a pen tester or an ethical hacker. And it seems like everyone I talk to in IT, when you ask them, hey, what do you want to do? What's your end goal? What's your end career? They say, I want to be able to hack things. But here's the difficulty with that. When I wanted to get into pen testing and wanted to get into the field, a lot of the resources emphasize network pen testing, Active Directory, externals. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I've noticed now that I'm actually in the field is the vast majority of pen tests that I do are actually web apps. And if you want to get your foot in the door as a pen tester, as a junior or an associate pen tester, the best place to begin is to be good at web app pen testing, which makes sense. If you view pen testing from the perspective of the client or the organization, almost every organization has a web application that is internet facing. It has the largest attack surface. So for an organization that might be just exploring pen testing, they're often going to have the pen test org do a web app first. See how they do on the web app, and if they do a good job, maybe they'll be interested in some network pen testing or cloud pen testing. But from my experience, it begins with web apps, and even now I do all types of assessments. So I do web apps and APIs, I do mobile apps, Android and iOS, I do cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP, I do network pen testing, you name it, I probably do it, but still, the majority of the pen testing I do is web apps. Now, my friend Big Beef, or Sean, he's over in chat right now, he created a guide on beginner resources for getting into web app pen testing. And I thought this was really well done, really well written, and wanted to make a video about this. Want to share this guide with you. I'll drop a link to it in the stream. I'll summarize some of it, but also just give you my initial thoughts. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen, and here is the guide. So I'll drop a link here in the YouTube description. Now, if you are watching this as a standalone video on YouTube and there is no link in the description, which often happens because I forget to drop it, leave a comment saying, Tyler, you are dumb. You forgot to share the link, and I'll be sure to update the link. But here it is right here, a web app beginner guide. And I'm not going to read through all of it. I'll summarize most of it. But this guide is meant to serve as a resource for someone who has decided that web app pen testing or web app security is a path for them. Now, I will say, even if you don't like web apps, if you want to get into pen testing, being good at web apps really is a cheat code. I shared before, when you apply for a job as a junior pen tester, you're going to do a lot of two assessment types. You're going to do a lot of external network pen tests. An external network pen test is when the client gives you a list of IPs that are internet facing, and you just need to poke at them. You run Nessus, you run Nmap, you run Nuclei, and see what vulnerabilities you are able to find. On the other hand, you're also going to do a lot of web app pen testing, where you're looking at any internet-facing web apps the client has and seeing, once again, what vulnerabilities you can find. So even if you're not sold on web app pen testing, it's a good skill to have. For example, if you want to also be a red teamer, you also need web apps. To be a red teamer is when you emulate an APT or an advanced persistent threat, or as some call it, an advanced persistent teenager. But to do a good job as a red teamer, you need to have skills in all of the different assessment types, including web apps. So even if you're not interested in web apps 100%, it's still a good thing to go through this guide and understand some basic web app pen testing. Now, beginning with foundational, and this is important, a lot of people dive into pen testing or ethical hacking without even understanding the basics of IT and networking and security. So before you dive into the deep end of doing hacking, you do need to understand the basics. And one thing that Sean shares, which I think is incredible, is TCM's free tier. Now, you've likely heard of TCM Security, but what you may not know is they have a completely free tier that you can go through the course, as it implies, without paying anything, which amazing. And it covers help desk, soft skills, programming, and Linux basics. Go through that free tier. It doesn't cost you anything but your time, and you'll learn a lot in the process. From there, you do need to learn the basics of hardware and operating systems. So you have A+, Network+, and Security+. If you've never heard of these are what's called the CompTIA trifecta. It gives you a really solid foundation for your career, and honestly looks great on your resume. The first 3 certs that I got in my IT journey back in 2021 was the A+, Network+, and Security+, as you see them here. Now, even if you don't want them, you can do the training through Professor Messer and Jason Dion as another resource I used. And don't take the cert, go through the training. But honestly, if you can afford the cert, I don't generally advocate for certs. I think a lot of them are a ripoff, but having the A+, Network+, and Security+ on your resume for an entry-level IT role is going to look really good, and it's at least going to get you to the interview stage of that role from my personal experience. Once you get beyond that, you can dive into the Practical Ethical Hacking course. I recommend this course myself in my video on how to become an ethical hacker in 2024. Maybe I should make a 2025 one, but go through that entire course from TCM Security. Now, when I did it, I could buy it as a standalone course. Now TCM is a subscription model, but I think it's around $20 or $30 a month. But even if you don't sub for long, sub for 1 month, go through the PEH course, take a bunch of notes, and I think you'll find it helpful. The other thing he mentions is Western Governors University. And let me just pull this up for you. This is actually where I got my bachelor's in cybersecurity. Now, I want to be very clear. You don't need a degree to get into cyber. You don't need a degree to become a pen tester. But to be blunt, having a degree does make life a little bit easier for you. Some jobs, especially entry-level jobs, ask that you have a bachelor's as a minimum. It doesn't usually even matter what the bachelor's degree is in, but they want you to have a bachelor's to get past the HR screening, and WGU is a great way to do it. So I got my bachelor's through WGU in 7 months. Now, WGU is fully accredited like any other large state university, except it's competency-based education. What competency-based education is, or CBE education, what that means is that generally you pass a course not by taking an exam at the end offered by the college, but by getting a certification. So, for example, when I went through WGU, I had a class on PC hardware. The way you passed the class wasn't taking a WGU exam, it was by getting the A+ certification, and it was all included in your tuition. And I was broke, which means the government basically paid for my degree and all of my certs, which was amazing. So that's how I got most of my certs, was going through WGU. I'd go through a course, and then I would take the official certification, and I would both pass the course and get the cert on my resume, and it looked really good to future employers. So if you are interested in a bachelor's degree, WGU is a good choice, but it's not for everyone. Like, if you need traditional schooling, sitting in a class, having a professor walk you along through it, WGU is not for you. And still, although I got my degree in 7 months, that is atypical. Generally speaking, people get their degree through WGU in 3 to 5 years. That's the standard timeline. But if you are able to grind it out, you can get your degree a lot quicker and move into the field a little bit faster. Let's scroll through here. After web apps, there's some good things he recommends. One's the bug bounty path from Hack the Box Academy. Now, they have a corresponding certification. We'll see if this pulls it up. They have a corresponding certification with the bug bounty hunting path. I don't think you need the cert. I don't think it's super recognized by an employer, but just do the training. And that's what I advocate for a lot of certs. I've done all the training for this and all the training for their pen tester path. And the bug bounty path does a good job from Hack the Box introducing you to some typical web app vulnerabilities. He also mentions Free Code Camp. If you've never checked out Free Code Camp, check it out. I recommend doing the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript path on here. It's completely free. It'll give you the basics of coding, the basics of how web apps work. It's hard to hack something that you don't know how to build with. So Free Code Camp, if you've never heard of it, once again, as the name implies, a completely free hands-on resource to learn programming and scripting. I've never done the shell scripting tutorial, so I want to check that out myself. I can't vouch for this just because I haven't done it, but if he recommends it, I'm going to say it's probably a good resource to check out. And then he says, hey, check out Hack the Box and Try Hack Me. These are for your standalone CTF machines. He prefers Hack the Box, which people argue whether or not Try Hack Me or Hack the Box is better. I made a video about this, and the answer is it depends. Try Hack Me is a little more affordable because under one sub you get access to everything. Hack the Box is confusing because they have separate subs for Academy as compared to their main platform, but Hack the Box's standalone machines really shine. I think Hack the Box does a much better job at standalone machines than Try Hack Me because Hack the Box's ones are less CTF-y and a little more realistic, but Try Hack Me also just released a web app pen testing path. I'm about 96% of the way through that web app pen testing path. All I have left is the last challenge room called, is it the Bandit or El Bandito or something? I'm going to do that on stream. You guys will watch me go through that, but check that out. The other resource he recommends here is this really cool guy who's trying to do a 2025 streaming challenge of streaming every day in 2025. Tyler Ramsby. I did a talk about CVEs. Now, I'm going to give you CVEs in a nutshell. CVEs, or a 0-day, is a vulnerability you find in open source software generally that you can get assigned a CVE for. This is like an indicator that you found a vulnerability, and then vulnerability scanning software can use that in order to patch the vulnerability. So I have a total of 9 CVEs. I won't go into detail on how to find those. I have multiple videos on CVE hunting. You can check those out on my YouTube channel. But having a CVE is what's going to set you apart from other people. A lot of people have the OSCP or have bug bounty experience or have hack the box experience. What they do not have is a CVE. So if you can put in the time to find 1, 2, 3 or more CVEs, once again, you're at least going to get to the interview process for a pen testing job, and that's already getting you past many of the other candidates applying for the job. Then he summarizes it. What are some web app pen testing training material? Now, y'all, this is incredibly underrated. A lot of people immediately recommend Try Hack Me or Hack the Box. Portswigger Web Security Academy, this is completely free. No strings attached. It literally doesn't cost anything, and I would argue Portswigger has the best material for learning web app pen testing. James Kettle is the director of research at Portswigger, and he is the one who has discovered and published many of the attacks you hear about in the web app world. And once again, I can't emphasize this enough. This is completely free, no strings attached, hands-on labs. It is an amazing resource. And what Try Hack Me and Hack the Box do is, I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, but they look at research by people like James Kettle and they try to emulate his research in their own labs, which is great, but in many ways it's better just to go to the source. Portswigger has amazing web app labs. Check out their academy. They also have learning paths now. Their learning paths are kind of like Try Hack Me rooms, right? So you can begin with any of these, and it's a guided path through this, all with hands-on labs and theory that you really need to check out. So if anything, I would put this higher on the list. You seriously need to check out Portswigger Web Security Academy. I think you'll find it helpful. We have some free API training. I haven't done Postman Academy or Postman Student, but I have done API Sec University, which is another cool resource. This is, look at this, guys, free. It's not going to cost you anything. You can go through the entire course for free. Now, if you want a certification, that's going to cost a little bit, but the course itself is free and it's really well done. When I got into pen testing, I started with web apps, but I didn't know how to do APIs. Going through this course by API Sec University took me from not really understanding how APIs work to doing full pen tests on APIs on a pretty regular basis. So I can personally vouch for this platform. We dive into this. So we have the TCM's Academy, Bug Bounty, Practical Web Hacking, and Practical API Hacking. I'll take his word on it. I haven't done those courses, so I just can't personally vouch for them, but I'm a fan of TCM. I'm sure they are incredible. We have the Hack the Box Senior Web Pen Tester path. I'm currently working through this path. It's really difficult, but really well done. This is one path that is probably on par with Portswigger, if in some ways a little bit better than Portswigger, which don't crucify me in the comments for this. But what the Senior Web Pen Tester path requires you to do is both source code review and dynamic testing and writing custom scripts, which is really cool. Portswigger, at least that I'm aware of, is limited to dynamic testing. You're not generally looking at code and finding vulnerabilities in code. And the Hack the Box Senior Web Pen Tester path, you are. And once again, I'm currently working my way through that path. I'm not done with it, but I can vouch for the high quality of that path. The downside is it's a tier 3 module in Hack the Box Academy. Hack the Box Academy's pricing is super confusing to understand how their cubes and stuff work. I have a gold annual sub to Hack the Box Academy, courtesy of my workplace. So that gives me access to all of it, but just to be blunt, it's not cheap to go through the Senior Web Pen Tester path. So I'd only recommend that if you have an employer that's able to pay for that for you. Otherwise, with the other resources on this list, you'll be in a pretty good spot. We have certifications here. The only certification that I would recommend, maybe 2 of them, one is this, the Burp Suite Certified Practitioner, or the BSCP. This cost, the last I checked, $100 to take this cert, but it is hard. And if you have this cert, it shows that you really have top tier web app pen testing skills. And you may not have heard of it as much as things like the OSCP, but at least where I work, and I guess I can't speak for everyone, but my perspective, if I see that someone has the BSCP, I know that they know what they're talking about when it comes to web apps. This really is a top tier cert. And like I said, it's only $100 to attempt it. So if you fail, you're not out that much. I mean, you can take this test like 17 times before it even comes close to the price of one OSCP attempt. So you're not losing a whole lot of money by giving this exam an attempt and seeing if you're able to pass it and learning through the process. The other one that I would recommend that isn't actually on here is the OSCP. For as much as I'm personally not a fan of OffSec, the OSCP is still the gold standard, unfortunately, in the eyes of HR when it comes to pen testing. So if you want to get into web app pen testing, although the OSCP doesn't go real heavy on web apps, it still looks really good on your resume. So I'd recommend, if at all possible, get the OSCP, get the BSCP, and get a CVE. And you're going to be in a really good spot for a solid career as a web app pen tester. He has some other resources that you can dive into things, some communities. This is my favorite community, if you ask me. For those of you who do not know about Hack Smarter, this is the community I started. We don't have paywalls behind anything. We host meetings and workshops and demos all the time completely free. But go to hacksmarter.org, go ahead and cat discord.text, and you can get a link to our Discord community and come check out our community. We have some YouTubers. We have the one and only Tiberius, which one of the best streamers when it comes to web apps. He and I just did some video stuff together about an hour ago. So incredible person on a personal level, but also incredibly talented when it comes to pen testing and web apps in particular. And then we have some other people that are amazing here. She does an incredible job on the port swigger material in particular. This dude is doing that streaming challenge. I somehow made the list. Thank you for your generosity. Namsek, y'all, just got a $100,000 bounty from Meta. And I did not say that incorrectly. A $100,000 bounty from Meta. And he has his own platform that teaches bug bounty and hacking. Seriously, check out his content. And of course, we have one of the OGs in the field, TCM Security. We have some other useful links. Ben Heater, he's part of the Hack Smarter community. He does the best write-ups for starting your own labs and learning how to do CTF stuff. Make sure you check that out. And then we have this. Burp Suite Pro is great. He recommends Zap. I've never gotten into Zap just because every time I open Zap, I feel like I'm looking at a MySpace page from the 90s. I just don't like the UI. One alternative to Burp Suite Pro if you're just learning is Kaido. Kaido, even the free edition of Kaido, doesn't rate limit you on things like what Burp Pro would call intruder, so it's a little more accessible that way. And if you're a student, you can actually get a pro version of Kaido completely free. So an alternative to Burp Suite Pro, if money is an issue, is that I'd encourage you to check out Kaido. Otherwise, if you can afford Burp Suite Pro, it is the industry standard and what you're likely going to use day in and day out as a web app pen tester. Go ahead and get Burp Suite Pro, or at least get a free trial and see what you think of Burp Suite Pro. I think Sean corrected me. He said OSCP is at the top. I think I missed that. So apologies for that. But the OSCP is what I would recommend there, the BSCP. But this guide, y'all, is top tier. So I want to give a big shout out to Sean, Big Beef. I don't know what name you want to go by in this video, so I'll call you by both of them. You did an amazing job putting this guide together. And as someone working in the field as a pen tester, I fully vouch for this guide. So if you want to become a web app pen tester, check out this guide. I'll drop a link to it in the description of this video, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Are there anything that he missed? Is there anything that you would add to this guide? Let me know in a comment. I would love to hear from you, and hey, show him your support as well. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. All right, one taked it. I saw a bunch of questions coming through, guys. Let me answer your questions real quick on stream. Scroll. Will I still be going over THM challenges? Yeah, probably not tonight, though. All right, just scrolling. Oh, Slow Mo J says, some jobs have been asking for CVEs you submitted to. That's cool. So once again, giving you a leg up in that interview stage. So Madura, you said how to bridge a skill gap. I just gave a bunch of resources for bridging that. Check out those resources shared in that guide. Port Swigger is one that I'd really recommend. What do I recommend learning first, AD or AWS pen testing? I recommend learning AD first. But before that, I recommend learning web app. But AD before AWS. All right, just scrolling. I'll make sure I'm not missing anything. The Colo said, you need Burp Pro for the exam on BSCP, so effectively 600. Me and Tiberius are just talking about this. You don't need to buy Burp Pro for the exam. I believe you can get a 1-month trial to Burp Pro, because I remember doing that myself when I was learning. So you get a 1-month trial to Burp Pro and then use that for the BSCP exam. It doesn't need to be a purchased version of Burp Suite Pro. Masa, can I just say I got the BSCP thinking I was taking the OSCP? That's amazing, dude. All right, scroll. Is the OSCP a hands-on cert or is it like CompTIA? OSCP is all hands-on. For the OSCP, I mean, a lot of you know this. I won't go into deep detail, but you have 24 hours to hack multiple machines as well as an AD path to get enough points. And then at the end, you have to write a full professional pen test report all within, well, you have to do all the boxes in 24 hours and you have another 24 hours to write the report. The OSCP is very much worth getting at some point. Alex said, hey, Tyler, did the THM include machine last night? Ended up using Burp Community to fuzz the point where you need to get LFI. Legit took 3 hours to complete while I was at work. Okay. So when it comes to Burp Community and using Intruder, you can use Turbo Intruder if you know a little bit of Python. You can also use Fuff to do the same thing, or you can use Kaido. Kaido has something called Automate, which is the same as Intruder, but it doesn't rate limit you even in the free version of Kaido. So those would be some alternatives. I do not recommend using Burp Suite Community Edition Intruder to fuzz anything. It's going to take you way too long. Not worth it. All right, what about CEH towards a pen testing career? I don't recommend the CEH unless you live in India. I believe in India, the CEH is a requirement for a lot of jobs, but outside of that, CEH and the whole EC Council org as a whole, I'm not a fan of them. All right, guys. What time is it? 11 o'clock? What we can do is I have some other videos I will eventually make. Let me just organize my Notion real quick. But I want to see if we can maybe start a Vulnlab machine. We're not going to get far in it, but I'm thinking, hey, let's just do some initial enumeration, and then I might sign off. Since I spent an hour talking to Tiberius. My mouth's dry. I'm also getting over a cold, but as you guys can tell, my cold is much better now. I'm not as stuffy as I was last night. I'm improving. And I got a haircut. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did. Where the frick is my Notion? Here we go. All right, let's see. Sean Web App Guide complete. All right, have a bunch of other videos I want to make, standalone videos. But if I'm streaming every day, we got enough time to make that. Oh, thank you. Gunman said not also in India. They have started to focus on skills here in India. Cool. So, Alex, the reason TryHackMe can't put Kaido in their VMs is because Kaido requires an account on Kaido. I've talked to the devs before about making a standalone version of Kaido for things like TryHackMe, but I think that's on the roadmap, but it hasn't been done. I don't understand all the reasoning behind the authentication, but that's why it's not on things like VirtualBox. Can we get an AppSec guide? All right. I'm pretty sure. Let me grab this real quick. Another thing for web apps is this. I'm not just saying it because Tiberius is in the chat. But guys, if you don't follow Tiberius, he streams on Twitch and YouTube, and incredibly talented pen tester, especially at web apps. But he has a resource on his website. Let me drop this here. of interview questions, web AppSec interview questions. Check these out. But like, if we're looking at these, like this first one, he has the answer here. But when you read web cache deception and web cache poisoning, if that's new to you, here's a cool thing. Go over to PortSwigger, and if you go to all content and all topics, you can go down, I believe this is the advanced topics, but you can find, like, for example, here's web cache poisoning. So if that's new to you on his interview questions right there, go over to PortSwigger and work through the both theory and the labs on web cache poisoning so you have a much deeper understanding of it. So on these, I don't know if it's going to show me because I'm not logged in, but each one of these will also have labs. Let's see if I can find one of the labs. Well, oh, here we go. View all web cache poisoning labs. So you can see we have all these labs. It's going to tell me to log in. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you don't even need to log in to launch the labs. Are you serious? Oh, no. Okay, you do need to log in. All right. I won't log in now, but you don't need to pay for anything, but you can go through this there. So that's what I recommend. Go through his web AppSec questions, and then for each thing that's new to you, go over to PortSwigger and look up the corresponding topic and go through that topic, and you'll learn a lot that way. Elliot said, hey, I'm new here, but I started enjoying your video. Thanks for giving time for teaching beginners. I'm still a beginner myself, so I'm glad you find the teaching helpful. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate having you here. All right, guys, give me a second. I'm going to get things set up for Vulnlab. Let's see, CD. All right, while I do this, I'll answer some questions. Gum Name said, if I'm going to get a sub for one of the platforms among Try Hack Me or Hack the Box, or instead get a course, which one should I go for? So by Hack the Box, do you mean Hack the Box Academy or Hack the Box main platform? Answer that question first. When are you guys streaming together? Me and Tiberius, we did a stream a while back when I interviewed him, but we recorded an offline video. We'll have to do another stream sometime, though. All right. By a show of hands, which you guys can't show your hands because I know you're in chat, by a show of chat messages, who has all tried Vulnlab before and who hasn't? I'm just curious. I want to get a feel for audience. Have you done Vulnlab? Have you heard of Vulnlab? Do you enjoy Vulnlab? Tiberius has. Tiberius, what do you think about Vulnlab? Curious your thoughts. I need to see which ones I'm supposed to start with. They have like recommendations on a hidden page, and there was one that someone recommended to me, Nefos, if I remember right. Let me check Discord real quick. I know he had a few that he's like, hey, you should do these on stream. I just don't remember which ones he told me to do on stream. Nefos. Never heard of it. Okay, I'll show you guys Vulnlab in a second because it seems like a lot of you haven't heard of it. So I want to show you Vulnlab. But let me figure out what labs Nefos is telling me to do. We chat a lot, so I have to scroll up in our stream. Scroll down. Which I will say, a lot of people wonder, Tyler, how can I reach out to you? Discord's the best bet. If you can't find me on Discord, you suck at research. My name is literally Tyler Ramsby. I don't even use a cool hacker name. So if you DM me on Discord, if I don't respond right away, tag me in the Hack Smarter Discord because it probably went to my spam. But I try to respond to every message I get on Discord or every comment I get on YouTube. If you message me on LinkedIn, I'm not going to respond. I have way too many message requests there. Dude, what the heck? I can't find it. I know he recommended a bunch of machines to me as he was working through them. Okay, I'm just going to pick the next machine on the list. I know he recommended them, but I can't find them right away. Hey, yo, thank you for becoming a super member of my YouTube channel, 413XLAN. You're amazing. If anyone does want to support my work, you can become a member on YouTube. I have basic and super memberships. Unfortunately, you don't get anything besides you're amazing. I don't believe in paywalls, so I don't have anything behind a paywall for the members, but seriously, thank you for the support. Over on Twitch, you can become a subscriber. Also on YouTube, you can do a one-time gift via a super chat, but thank you. Appreciate your generosity and your kindness. Okay. I found a good machine for us to do. Called down. Let me go ahead and pull up. I need to authenticate to Notion real quick on my VM. And then we will launch this machine and dive into things. And I'll show you guys Vulnlab. Hey, Aniket, don't ask the same question over and over again. I assure you I see it. But that question will take too long of an answer. That's going to be more of a standalone video I make. So I'll have to answer that in a different time. But I would say for dynamic static testing, look at OWASP in their testing guide. Vulnlab is not for cloud. You're thinking of Pwn Labs. I know it's confusing. There's a lot of platforms. All right. So here is Vulnlab. I just dropped a link to it over in chat. Vulnlab is created by XCT. XCT is not one of, I think, the top player in Hack the Box. He's also made many, many, many of the Hack the Box machines. Vulnlab is his own platform that he created that is really quite difficult. If you think about like, Try Hack Me is at this level. Hack the Box is at this level, and Vulnlab is even above that. So like an easy Vulnlab machine is a medium or hard Hack the Box machine from my experience so far. So they are difficult machines, but they're very realistic. Things that you'll actually encounter in the real world on like an internal network pen test. He has multiple things. We have standalone machines, which is what I'm going to showcase here, but there's also chains. So if you think about Pro Labs on Hack the Box, he has like a Pro Lab equivalent, but you get access to all of that under one membership level. He also has Red Team Labs where he has full EDRs enabled, where you have to bypass various EDRs and do goal execution. So incredible platform. I just noticed on Discord that this is sold out, which is crazy. I have this. I subscribe for a year subscription, 365 days. That is now sold out. So honestly, shout out to XCT. You must be doing something awesome. But that's sold out, but you can still do 90 days of access or become a Patreon. And then if you do full subs, you get also the Red Team Lab. So I did this. It gives me access to everything, including standalone machines, machine chains, and Red Team Labs. I think it came down to like $14 a month roughly, but that's what I ended up doing. So that's what I have for Vulnlab. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a moment while I pull up Discord. The cool thing about these machines is you actually launch them in Discord out of all places. And I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I don't remember the name of the machine though. What was it? Oh shoot, I closed it. Recommendations. All right, down. Down is what it's called. All right. Let me get this machine launched. All right, it's starting up right now, and I think a new format I'm experimenting with, guys, is when it comes to Vulnlab machines. There's no way I can do them in one stream. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's always going to take multiple streams But I also don't want really long YouTube videos that are like 3 hours long as I try to figure out Vulnlab. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll do the machines live, like give you my full thought process, go into it blind. But then once I finish a machine, I'll make a standalone walkthrough video that's more focused on teaching and explaining the machine. So if you want to see my like live methodology, stumbling, troubleshooting, watch the live stream. If you want to see the standalone version of the machines, you can watch the standalone videos when I release them. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, CPTS is a good cert. Let's just forget about the build lab. Hey, I completed the build lab and made a standalone video for it. It only took me like 8 attempts, but I did eventually complete it. All right. Almost ready, y'all. Okay, here we go. I have my note set up here for the down machine. And we'll go ahead and add it to Etsy hosts. And like I said, in this stream, we're probably just going to focus on initial enumeration because, believe it or not, I do eventually sleep at night. We'll add it to Etsy hosts. All right, we got it. Now, what I like to do is I like to use Rust Scan, dive in, see if we can figure it out. Tyler, I love you. Well, thank you, Easy Clap. I appreciate the kind words. Let's do Rust Scan -a build slash, or not build. Gosh, someone mentioned build before. I still have PTSD. So I've made walkthrough videos for build and sync on Vulnlab. You can find those standalone walkthrough videos on my channel if you want to get a feel for what Vulnlab is like. So check out build and sync on my channel. This one is called down-VL. We'll pass over the open ports to in-map and hit it with -A. And while we do that, we'll grab a drink of water. Might have to go get more water. Okay, so we only have 2 ports open. Port 22 is going to be SSH and a web server running on port 80. Now, what I'm doing up here, if you've never used Rust Scan, all Rust Scan does is it scans all the ports really fast. You can literally do the same thing with InMap, and it will do the same thing for you. And then I'm just passing it over to InMap and running -A flag with InMap. That just means I throw all the enumeration scripts at it. You can see we have what I assumed, a web server and SSH running. So what I like to do is we grab these notes, or these main things, and we'll drop it into our notes. We'll do H1 and we'll call it enumeration. And we'll say our InMap scan, do a text block and paste it in there, separate it a little bit. And there we go. Now, if you've never used Notion, the cool thing about Notion is it makes a little table of contents over here as we work our way through this based on our headers. So we have an in-map scan, and let's just begin. We have 2 ports. SSH is going to be super easy to check because we don't have creds, but we can go ahead and do that. So we'll say SSH port 22. Like so. And the one thing I check on SSH is whether or not it accepts password authentication. So if you're doing an external pen test, this is something to check. If SSH is internet facing, you want to see if it accepts password authentication. And if it does, that's an informational or maybe a low finding on the pen test report, because best practices is only use key-based authentication. So let's go ahead and check that. We can do that very easily. We can just do SSH root at down.vl. Yes, and it does. So we know that it accepts password authentication, and we can add that to our notes. And we'll drop it in our notes so we have that. But that's really all we're going to do with SSH for now. If we're able to find credentials, we'll come back to SSH. The other thing that we are using... Oh, do you use the free version of Notion? I do use the free version of Notion, yeah. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot that chat wasn't turned on. Now you can see your own comments pop up on the screen. But yes, I do. I only use the free version of Notion. So everything I'm doing in Notion, you can do as well. I don't pay for anything here. We have... Why is this being slow? There we go. We have HTTP running on port 80. And there's a few things that we can check. I'm just going to set up placeholders for them. So we'll say our dir search placeholder. We can drop results in there. Our vhost placeholder. We do vhost fuzzing. And then just, we'll say like website features. And we'll drop that information in there. So let's get these scans kicked off here. dir search is going to do directory brute forcing, see what information might be on this web server before we even look at it. We can do dir search -u http /vl. We'll name that tab dir search, open up a new tab. This is going to be our vhost fuzzing. You can get this on my GitHub Tenebrae 93. Look it up, you'll be able to find it. But if we do tools, you can actually see it there, vhost fuzzer /h. This is just a wrapper around fuff because I always forget the syntax of fuzz for vhost, so I made a very basic bash script so I can remember the syntax, but you can get this from my GitHub. The domain is going to be down/vl. Our word list, we can use user share word list dirbuster directory list 2.3 medium.txt. Our URL is going to be down/vl. Our fs filter, we can do 1, and then we'll change the fs filter to 739 so it corresponds to the size here of a non-existent vhost, and we'll get that scan running as well. In the meantime, we can go ahead and begin looking at the web application itself. You're welcome to use Burp Suite, OWASP Zap. I like to showcase Kaido on stream because it's just a little more affordable than Burp Suite Pro, but to be transparent, I use Burp Suite Pro in my day-to-day job as a pen tester, but Kaido I think is a lot more affordable for those of you doing CTFs and just getting into the field. So I try to showcase Kaido instead of Burp Pro. We'll create a new project. We will call this project down for Vulnlab, hit create, go over to Intercept, pop open the built-in browser. Otherwise, I forget to turn off Foxy Proxy, turn off this extra window because it drives me crazy. And here we go. We'll go over to Hack the Box down, or not Hack the Box, HTTP down/vl. And there we go. Am I missing anything in chat? Are we doing bug bounty this stream? We are not. Nope. And generally, you can't live stream bug bounty. You can do Recon on bug bounty, but you can't actually live stream yourself exploiting bugs in a bug bounty program. That is against the rules in, I think, every bug bounty program I know of. I just spilled water all over myself. That's cool. I'm glad my water bottle felt like leaking. But here we go. Is it down or is it just me? Is that website down or is it just you? Right away, this looks like SSRF or server-side request forgery. Maybe we can hit our own web server, but let's go ahead and look at the source code. Is there anything interesting in the source code? And there's nothing interesting on the source code. We can go ahead and try our own URL. So let's try this. If I open this up and I just do like netcat nvlp 80, like so, what if I do HTTP 10.8.4.163 and we'll say hello.txt. Well, actually, it won't do that. It's just checking the website. So we'll just do the website itself and click is it down? And you can see we do get a request over to here. So we have a user agent of curl, which is interesting. It's running the curl command, so we might be able to get some type of code execution here, but we can confirm that it is vulnerable. Not really vulnerable because this is by design because it's checking if a website's down, but something we'll want to dig into further. So let's go ahead and add this to our notes. We'll say potential SSRF. And I'll just drop this here. And we'll say, add your attack IP to the website checker to show the potential SSRF. And what I also want to do is grab that in Kaido so we can play around with it and see what it looks like. So we can see it there. And instead of netcat, let's just change this over to Python 3. And we can look at these requests. So we'll do send, and you can see we get it there. We know it's curl, so it's a pretty good indicator of SSRF, possibly command injection since it's running curl. Maybe we can escape it. We don't know how curl is being used, but that's going to be something we want to dig into. But before we do that, is there anything here that is interesting? There is not. Okay, is there anything here that's interesting? There is not. We'll let that continue to run, but I'm guessing this is going to be our initial entry point, and we can try some basic things here. So if I do like ID like so, do we get anything? Does it tell? Does it actually do anything if the website's up? Oh no, it says it is down for everyone. No, it's not. It's responding, homie. Oh, wait. No, it's not responding. It should be. Maybe it's because I added that. That's breaking it, so that's a special character. Then does it respond? It does, so that was breaking it. How about if I do an and? Does that break it? Well, URL encode it real quick. Ah! In Burp Suite, you just do Control U. What? You guys see that? Why is it doing that? Okay. Okay, that's cool. That seems to be a bug. All right. What's the URL encoded thing? Let's go to... I've never had that happen with Kaido. I don't know if it's a me thing or a Kaido thing, but I'll do it old school. Okay, that's all I'm looking for. It's down for everyone. Can we hit localhost? Does that do anything? It's up. It's just you. Oh, cool. Oh, beautiful. So this confirms that we can hit localhost, which is, we can actually do some port scanning now, internal port scanning, which would be a fun thing to do. So for example, I'll show you what I mean by that. If we do port 22, we get it's down for everyone. If I do port 80, can I see different responses? Is there maybe a web server that is only open internally? You know, like if we do port 8000, it's not open to us from the internet, but maybe it's open internally and we can dig into it. I'm just going to try some common web servers. Looking at chat. Why not use a secless DNS fuzzer for vhost checklist? I don't know. Checking the internal port open maybe. So exactly what I'm doing. Good. We think alike. What time does the stream start? I'm watching from Africa. It really depends on the night. Somewhere between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is not a cloud machine. So no, we're not trying to get SSRF in AWS, but that would be a good thing to check if it was a cloud machine. So we have a few possibilities, right? And let me just jot these down. We'll say we can try command injection, scanning ports via SSRF. Trying to think if there's anything else interesting we could try. Yeah, I know 80's working. Just to make sure it's not like a rabbit hole in their SQL injection. Okay, so only protocols HTTP or HTTP is allowed. Okay, so we know localhost works. All right, so if we... You know, there's a tool I haven't used much of. We could try this. We could just do it with Kaido, but I've been wanting to play around with SSRF map, and I just haven't much. So let's try this tool out just for the fun of it. All right, we'll give it a shot. All right, we'll do... I always forget the syntax for this. Did I do it right? Okay, cool. And then I think it's source. There we go. So what I just did here is I set up a Python virtual environment, because if you just install random requirements.txt, you might break other tools. So I'm doing it all in its own Python environment. If you're wondering what I was doing, we'll install requirements. And now if we do Python 3, srf map-h, all right, we have it pulled up. So what does it need to take? We can do a port scan there if we pass it our request. So we just need to give it a request. All right. I'll do this. Is there a request here? Okay, no. And we'll do Python 3 srf map request.text. Our parameter is URL, and let's try a port scan. And that's not working because it's finding every port is open. Can we specify the behavior if it is open? Let me look at chat. I think Crow can take local file. I don't think it accepts the file parameter though. I'll show you what I mean. You get an error that it only accepts HTTP, I believe. Yep. Only protocol is HTTP. You could try to bypass that, but I don't think that's the main point. I might just do this with Kaido, but I wanted to try this. There must be a way to say, hey, this is like how you know it's successful. User agent, proxy, level of test to perform, R files. One would think you'd be able to do that, but I guess maybe not, because it's just getting a response. So it thinks that if there's a response, then it means the port is open, but that's not actually what it means. So that's something that we can dig into. We can maybe go through that on the next stream. We'll do some internal port scanning. Like I said, in this stream, we're just going to do our initial enumeration. Let's go ahead and just try some basic command injection just for fun and see if we're able to get anything there. Open this up. We can exit our Python virtual environment. Open a Python virtual server there. Make sure we at least have that part working, and we do. We have the hit there. It's up. It's just you. Okay, cool. And now there's various things that we can try. Does that do anything? Nope, that breaks it. Might have to URL encode this too, might be my issue. Let's try this one more time. Nope. That's odd. Okay, well, I'll do it this way. Okay, no, that doesn't work. There's also, if we go to hack tricks, what? Why not host a show on Pipe to Bash? That's something we could try. I'm not quite sure if it would work in this context, but it's worth trying. Like I said, today, y'all, just some basic enumeration, initial looking at the machine. Tried most of this. That stuff won't really be super helpful for us. Why is Hacktrix not like indexed by Google all of a sudden? Has anyone else noticed that? Or is it just me? So we can already hit localhost, so we know that. That's helpful. We can't do these other file schemas, unfortunately. They have a new AI. I don't know why it's not indexed, though. That's odd. However, completing an insane Hack the Box machine. Actually, if you go back on my streams, me and my friend Amoeba Man is the one who made the Red Team capstone on Try Hack Me, is one of their staff, makes all of their AD stuff. He and I did a stream where he completed an insane Hack the Box AD machine blind. I think it took us 2 streams, and he shared his thought process and methodology. I kind of asked questions as I went. So if you go back in my channel, you can find that with me and Amoeba Man. Let me type his name here in chat. That's how he spells it. If you just search for his name in my channel, you'll be able to find that video, and it's pretty fun watching him go through an insane Active Directory machine on Hack the Box. So I tried that. We can try this here. Oh, shoot. Oh. Thought it was going to work, but it didn't. Okay. Well, I'm almost certain it's going to be SSRF. We're going to be scanning ports that are only open internally, and then we're going to exploit some internal thing in order to get initial access. That's going to be my guess at how this ends up going down. I'm going to say it's not going to be command injection. We can go ahead and cross that out, but this is going to be the way into this machine, looking at basic initial enumeration. That's what I think it's going to be, since we are able to hit localhost 80. So tomorrow night, we'll continue from there, but we at least did some basic enumeration just to double check. Dirt Search didn't find anything interesting. We can post it here. Maybe some of these files will come up handy for us as we do our enumeration, so we can drop that information there. vhost didn't find anything, must be why I ended up stopping the scan there. But hey, good starting point. Like I said, shorter stream tonight because I was already doing stuff earlier in the evening, but I will be back on tomorrow. Hopefully that's my plan. We'll stream again tomorrow, and we'll just pick up where we left off and continue working through this machine from Vulnlab. So thank you all for hanging out. We have, whoa, a bunch of people. We're almost at 100 people at like almost midnight. You guys don't have lives, but I'm okay with that. I'm glad. My webcam just bugged out. I'm glad you're here. That's amazing that many people are hanging out with me. Like, blows me away that people actually watch, and it's not just bots. It's crazy to me. But let's see if we can find someone to raid. I know not all of you are on Twitch. It looks like most of you are on YouTube. We have almost 70 people on YouTube, 25 on Twitch. Hey, for those of you on YouTube, if you can do me a favor, come join me on Twitch, even if you don't have a Twitch account, just so you can be part of the raid. Raiding in Twitch terminology is we take all of our viewers and send them to another channel as a way of showing our support. So I just dropped a link. Dude, you guys type too much. You type too fast all at once. Let me drop that link again. Come join the Twitch if you're not already in Twitch, and let's see if we can find somebody to raid. One website, if you've never heard of it, is called InfoSec Streams. And in InfoSec Streams, we can see who is streaming. Only me on InfoSec Streams. If anyone has a Twitch recommendation, shout it out. Otherwise, I'm going to see who is live right now. See if there's anyone fun that we can hang out with. There's someone doing some PC building. That might be fun to watch. Oh, we got Computer Booter. What's he working on? Oh, he's doing some soldering, it looks like. That might be fun
Now
to watch.
Taxes is getting the TurboTax.
Let's raid
Filing
Computer
your
Booter.
taxes yourself, 100% free. If you
He's
didn't file
someone
with us
I like
last
to
year.
raid.
Pay $0.
I realized the audio was playing. I apologize for that. It was playing his ad. But he's a fun person. And we'll raid him. Looks like he's doing some repair stuff. A little background on Computer Booter. Jeez, I got too much audio coming through my headphones. He owns a computer repair shop, I think, over in California, and streams himself like doing some really intense fixes, hardware fixes and stuff. It's pretty fun to watch, and it's fun just to chill out. I often watch him while I'm working because it's fun to watch him repair stuff as I hack stuff. So let me go ahead and set up that raid. And then once the raid goes on, I will sign off from the rest of you. So seriously, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. My plan is to be back on tomorrow, and we will continue working through this machine and see what we can learn together. But there we go. I got the raid set up. Our raid terminology, when you do a raid on Twitch, you're supposed to say something in the channel. So when you get to the channel, say hack smarter, not harder. That will be our raid terminology, raid phrase. Hack smarter, not harder. But thank you, everybody, for being here. I will catch you over in Computer Booter's stream, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow night. See you guys.